Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Yes, I am back home for these next few videos because it's Thanksgiving break, so hope you guys all enjoy your break, enjoy some turkey as well this week, and enjoy hopefully a relaxing week back at home like I'm going to. As always, guys, hope you all enjoy the episode. Let's get right into it. And first off today, guys, I do want to talk about Team ALLIN, our former Team ALLIN. They have now been signed. This Russian lineup on screen right now has now been signed by Team Vega Squadron. Vega Squadron, their last team sign was actually Team Wrecking back in March of 2015. That was another Russian lineup as well, which lasted 9 months of the organization title. They disbanded a couple months ago, and now they've picked up their next team, Vega Squadron. That'll be the former Team ALLIN roster who actually won our CIS minor championships, if you guys saw that a couple weeks ago, and they did so in dominating fashion. They actually beat Team Spirit in the grand final after losing to them earlier. The only 2 maps they lost the entire tournament, guys, was to Team Spirit, the other heavy favorite in the CIS minor championships, and there were 2 very close maps. After winning the first match, they lost this best of 3, losing 2 16-14 maps. They came back to the losers bracket and actually beat Team Spirit in the grand final 2-0, and again, this roster on screen right now is looking absolutely dominant throughout CIS. Unfortunately, though, this year CIS kind of a lower tier roster. As many of you guys know, the past few majors, both Flipside Tactics and Navi, other CIS teams have actually already been legendary teams. So these CIS minors have been allowing other teams to actually come in and upset. So again, Team ALLIN, kind of an upset here. Really a no-name a couple months ago have come up off the map and on the scene really abruptly. So going to be really cool to see a far-fetched idea. Team Vega Squadron obviously timing this very correctly because they have now picked up this ALLIN roster just in case they do make the major. Speaking of signings, Trick eSports has finally replaced their star player niko, who they lost to Heroic. Obviously Heroic losing their star player Glaive to Astralis. Both those teams doing very well. If you guys saw this past weekend, are actually going on right now. Oakland group stages. Heroic almost made out of the groups, especially not really being expected. They replaced Virtus Pro this tournament, and they were not expected to even do anything close to that. They go 2 and 3 in the groups with actually niko on their roster, looking very well on that Heroic roster as well. So best of luck to them in the future. But the other Danish team, Trick eSports, obviously losing their best player there in niko. They have now replaced him with a 17-year-old possible Danish future star here. He goes by the name of Borup in game, guys, and again, he is 17 years of age. He'll be joining this roster. Could be a potential new star heading the Danish scene. We have so many Danish stars that are breaking out as of right now. Could this be the next one? Maybe. Trick eSports has now signed one of the youngest players in CSGO professional history once again. And this next segment is probably going to last a couple minutes, guys, so please, time markers are always down below in the description. I do want to talk about NRG and their confusing lineup situation right now. Team NRG, right now a North American organization. They have just signed Peacemaker as not their coach, but their general manager. Unfortunately, guys, I mentioned this in my last video. Actually, an hour after my last video, he was actually announcing which team he was signed to because we knew he was signed to a team, but not particularly which one as of right now. Apparently, though, it will be Team NRG he is now signed to. And again, not as a coach, but as a general manager. He also came out on Twitter with this post, a twit longer, and said, you know, a lot of organizations, actually, I want to think about this for a second, guys. A lot of coaches out there struggling right now because a lot of organizations, quote unquote, because of Peacemaker's tweet right here, are very hesitant to offer new coaches because of the new rule implementation. So it's going to be really hard for coaches in the future. If these rules stick for Valve, if they can only intervene during timeouts or halftimes, it's going to be very hard for organizations to want to sign a coach. Peacemaker, one of the better coaches probably in North America or South American games, obviously coaching Tempo Storm and Liquid as well. But Peacemaker will be the general manager of NRG's going forth roster. Now, what's really important here is because we've been confused in the past. As of right now, we thought NRG might be trying to transition between a North American lineup to a German roster, which is very confusing. But now with Peacemaker on the team, it seems like all these potential roster changes have now been thrown in the air and really no one knows what's going on. So first off, initially we thought Keev was going to be joining in place of NRG current player PTR or Peter, and now apparently Peter came out and said he will not be re-signing with NRG. So people thought Keev was going to be joining Team NRG, but apparently as of right now, guys, as of today, Keev will not be joining this new roster, and they're still looking for different players to join. Also leaked information was that Fugly might be leaving the NRG roster, and then we had NRG tweet out this, guys, and say, don't worry, all of our players are still under contract, so do not worry. You know, they may not be re-signing, but they're still under contract. They're still on the roster. So as of right now, guys, PTR will not be re-signing with NRG. We know this. Peter will not be coming back, but he's still playing for that roster. Will Fugly be replaced? As of right now, no. Will Keev be joining? As of right now, no. NRG has a lot of options right now as well. I personally think Shazam would be a good fit for this roster, guys, but as of right now, NRG's roster is in the air. Very confusing as at this point. And then definitely some interesting news for Team Liquid. If you guys are Team Liquid fans like myself, we've been struggling these past 4 months. Even if you guys look at the analysis, you know, we actually had Zeus coaching for Liquid these past 10 days or so at both Northern Arena and IEM Oakland. I'll show you guys the results on screen right now of definitely a struggling Liquid roster. They thought maybe they could bring back a Peacemaker lookalike or maybe a Peacemaker-like coach, and apparently Zeus is not working out so far. He might stick with the team, but as of right now, we also had CEO of Liquid tweet out this 10 days ago and said that Zeus would be coaching for IEM Oakland and Northern Arena. After that, though, it's still to be determined is if he's going to actually stay on the roster. Now, with these results on screen, obviously, they actually failed to make it out of groups at both of these tournaments. You know, obviously, Cloud9 did as well for one of those, but still a really struggling roster, especially this these past 4 months. If you guys want to put it in more perspective, obviously Liquid still has a striking roster that still can do crazy things every now and again, maybe when the event is big or at a major like ESL Cologne back in July. But ever since then, a little after Cologne, these past 4 months, if you take away Cologne in these past 4 months, even teams like Echo Fox have, I believe it's like 20 or 30% more prize winnings in those past 4 months. Echo Fox obviously just recently disbanding. They have won more prize money than this Liquid roster in the past 4.5 months. To put that in perspective for all of you guys. So as of right now, the future of Liquid's roster really unknown. I could tell you guys from my own guesses though, for the next major, I would assume there's going to be some sort of change to this Liquid roster sometime soon. What it's going to be, whether to be sticking around with Zeus or maybe changing out a player, we really do not know as of this point in time. But seriously, a big struggle right now for Liquid. Can they come back soon in some tournaments? And some absolutely amazing news, guys. I don't consider myself to be an NIP fan, but I'm going to give you guys a lot of spoilers right now because I am Oakland. The grand finals were last night. Late last night, they actually ran until about midnight here at my time, and I did stay up, unfortunately. Woke up really early to record this, guys. I am back home, by the way, so my Wi-Fi here is terrible. It takes about 4 hours to upload and process a video, and that's not even counting to actually make the video itself. So anyway, guys, big upset for I am Oakland. I would say kind of an upset here. NIP did defeat SK. Now, the road there was kind of difficult and it was strenuous, but NIP looked really good all the way through the tournament. First off, it was SK over Astralis. I'm going to start right away in the semifinals. Astralis almost taking SK on their own pick map, and that was Train, but unfortunately fell short there and actually were 2-0 swept quite convincingly on the second map by SK. It was also, of course, NIP over FaZe in another close best of 3 series, guys. It went to map 3 here, and again, FaZe Clan, another shocking team alongside Astralis. I never would have guessed, guys, if you would have told me beforehand. Astralis won their group number 1 seed, going 4-1 out of groups. FaZe Clan went undefeated 5-0 out of groups. I never would have said this would have been possible, guys, especially now. It seems both these teams, Astralis and FaZe, with Kerrigan obviously on that FaZe lineup, as well as Astralis with Glaive, maybe they found their rhythm. They built, both these teams are performing very well, and again, this has to be a great feat for these guys. Even though they lost in both 3rd, 4th place, still a great feat for them. It will be an SK NIP final, and it was an incredibly close series. Now, SK won their first map on Train dominantly. You would have thought right away, okay, SK's taking this. NIP comes back, reverse sweeps, wins it 2-1 in consecutive 16-14 maps. It was absolutely incredible to watch and an absolutely amazing game, especially because SK actually brought it back. I believe it was on Cobblestone as well, or the last map they played, and it was actually a 10-5 half, the terrorist side 10-5 after NIP took 10 rounds on their T side. SK brought it all the way back to map point, and they actually could not finish them off, and they lost 14-16 to NIP. And to just give you guys a perspective again, a little background here, I know you guys have heard it before. People are really trying to hype up NIP as like a godlike team, and yes, they're doing very well. One of the few teams this year to actually win this many tournaments, but I would really want to clarify this as well, because people keep on saying NIP, one of the few teams or one of the only teams this year to actually win 3 $250,000 plus prize pool tournaments. Now, also, they're one of the few teams this year to actually take home $100,000 or more in winnings for their own personal team. Obviously, with a prize pool being $250K, the grand prize is actually only probably $100,000 or a little bit over that. They're one of the few teams alongside SK Gaming and the former LG roster in 2016 to actually take home 3 tournament winnings of $100,000 or more for their own personal gain. So if you guys want to put this in more perspective, we have teams like Na'Vi, Virtus Pro, Dignitas, Cloud9, as well as I think it's one more there on that list. We have a total of 7 teams who have won a $250,000 tournament or more. Fnatic has 2 of those. LG/SK has way more than anyone else. They have way more winnings in 2016 than any team can even reckon with. I believe they have 10 top 4 finishes, and 8 or 9 of those are top 2 finishes. SK by far and away is one of our most consistent teams ever. Virtus Pro is also up there with a couple of top finishes as well, and then alongside them will be NIP. So NIP, after this tournament, has definitely signified themselves as a top 3 prize winnings for 2016 team, and really doing well, especially these past few months. Now, with this lineup, this is really a striking time to see. I mean, with Pith just coming back to the team, I had no expectation of them taking this tournament, and this really is the dagger in the coffin, I guess, to Michael Lilly's return. If you guys really think NIP was going to offer him a chance now, with Pith in their lineup and then them winning a grand finals like this at I Am Oakland, it's very unlikely, and it's not going to happen, but really cool to see NIP is back in top form. We still have plenty of teams, though, that can compete with these guys. I would say because Virtus Pro, Dignitas were not there, this tournament would have been a totally different tournament, but still a great win for NIP and some great CS right now. We are in a time period where CSGO is absolutely unpredictable, and I love it. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's episode of CSGO News. Sorry for the lack of stories. I'm going to try and save a few stories for tomorrow because I am going on a road trip because it is Thanksgiving week. I hope you guys all enjoy your Thanksgiving week as well. I'm going on a road trip all the way to Indiana with my family to spend for a day or two, but I will have videos both tomorrow and hopefully a live stream tomorrow as well, and we'll see about a video on Wednesday for all of you guys, so please stay tuned. I'm going to try and make as many CSGO News episodes and try and stream as much as possible for all of you. I streamed for 5 hours last night. You guys are absolutely insane. Thank you for all the support. We've been giving away keys, knives, guns. We gave away a ton of skins on live stream, guys, as well as through my Twitter. Please follow my Twitter down below if you guys want free skins and a good chance to win them. Guys, my live streams only get anywhere from 30 to 100 viewers. You guys have great chances to win because we have 25 keys to give away tonight on live stream. If you guys can tell, my voice is shot because I talk way too much on live stream, but I absolutely love it. Hope you guys all enjoy. My name is Jake. Live, love, laugh a lot. I will see you guys all tonight on live stream and tomorrow with more CSGO news. Remember, I like you. Goodbye!